everybody, Falisha Rexford here. Today I want to help you, whether that means you, the realtor, or you, the consumer, you, the buyer, you, the investor, get your offer accepted in this crazy market. We all know that we're in a seller's market, yes, but this video really should tailor to any market. If you are wanting to purchase a home, how are you going to get your offer accepted? Okay, so here we are. We want to write an offer. I would have to say that first and foremost, you need to have great representation, somebody fierce, somebody that's going to go out there and view a home for you and write an offer for you and be quick about it. So let's go ahead and put that aside because you're smart and you already have that. You have a great agent representing you. That's step one. Okay, we are also in a seller's market or a fast-paced market. Let's also put aside that we're probably gonna have to offer above list and we may need some appraisal guarantees if we're financed. Let's put that aside. This is the meat of the video that I want to talk about. What makes you different? How are you going to get your offer accepted when everybody on the playing field has a good agent or is willing to pay above list price for a house? What makes you different? And today, I want to go through two real-life examples of something that just happened to me. One from a listing agent's perspective, I'm the listing agent representing the sellers, and how we chose an offer that netted my sellers $10,000 less, and why they chose that offer. Stick around. I also want to review how I just got an offer accepted for my buyers day one in a seller's market on a Saturday morning, how I was able to lock it up because of terms. As promised, let's start with my real life examples. So the first one that I want to review is me being the listing agent representing a seller, okay? So you are the person that wants to buy the house. Well, I just listed a property, and to kind of give you some backstory, it's a little 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Las Vegas, Nevada. We listed it for $365,000. The sellers are elderly. They've lived in this home for years and years and years. They are very nervous and anxious about selling and the selling process because they know that once they sell the property, now they're going to have to become the buyer and they're going to have to buy as well. And I'm giving you this backstory because it's really, really important for you to know prior to submitting an offer. I've got some nervous sellers. We had multiple offers come in 2 days, 27 to be exact. 27 offers came in 2 days on the market. I listed for $365,000. We got offers all the way up to $400,000 cash, closing in 2 weeks. As a financed buyer or an investor maybe wanting to put 20 or 25% down, that may feel completely untangible to you to get the property, right? Well, stick around because a finance buyer that offered less than the cash buyer got the house. And that doesn't make me a bad realtor. In fact, I think that this was a huge blessing of an offer. So in this case, again, elderly sellers, they don't necessarily want to be rushed to make their forever home purchase. They don't want to be rushed out of their house. So when I took the listing consult, I told them one of the things that I was going to try and get them was what we call a rent back. And a lot of you may want to tune me out. Don't tune me out. I'm telling you, this is going to be good stuff, right? So I know that you've probably also heard of a rent back scenario in a seller's market. Yeah. Let the seller stay in the house for 2 months, rent free. Let's take this a step further. That meant so much to my sellers, again, that we were willing to review offers that would net them less money, but allow them to stay in the home. Well, one really good agent reached out to me. This is key. If your agent isn't willing to pick up the phone and ask, what do the sellers need? Right there. That is such an epic question for your agent to ask the listing agent. So many times it has nothing to do with money. Of course, we all want to make money, but really there's other things that mean something to people. And in this case, that rent back meant a lot to my sellers. Again, nervous, anxious, elderly, overwhelmed with the process, don't want to be rushed to buy. This is huge for them. So I had one agent call me. Their offer would be netting my client about $10,000 less than that cash buyer that I was telling you about. I told them we have to get a 2-month rent back. If you could do it for free, that's better. We just need some time to buy. They threw down and they said, you know what? Have a 3-month rent back for free. That made them unique. I had 27 offers, multiple people willing to give us 2 months, only one willing to give us 3 months. And they also landed in our top 3 offers in terms of net. But again, there was a $10,000 difference. So I presented all the offers in a fair manner to my sellers, and they opted to go with the one that netted them less money, but took the stress off their shoulders to remain in the home for 3 comfortable months while we shop for their forever home. And they didn't have to worry about where they were gonna live or how fast they needed to get their items out of the property. This is huge. So if you didn't hear 90% of what I just said, please refocus, have your agent call the listing agent and say, that's right, what do your sellers need? You'll be surprised. Sometimes it has nothing to do with net or money. Okay, we're gonna use some things that we learned from that first example, and we're gonna definitely carry it over to my example number 2. Now I'm representing a buyer. Real life scenario, guys. I just got this offer accepted yesterday. Gonna open escrow tomorrow because it's a Sunday. Yes, I got an offer accepted on a Saturday in a seller's market. Most agents will let their listings ride all weekend long and just rack and stack offers, but I got the sellers to accept my offer, and this is how. First of all, I'm gonna go back to the basics. My buyers called a great agent to work for them, and as soon as they sent a listing my way, knowing that it's a fierce market, I got on the MLS and I pulled up the listing right away. Okay, I've got to book an appointment to view. Let me go ahead and do that. The appointments were being booked directly with the seller. Now, agents, you know that you can't talk terms or money or anything with the sellers, but that does kind of open up a conversation at least. So, hey, Mrs. Seller, I'd love to see your property. What's the earliest I can get in the property? I'm super excited to view this for my clients. She allowed me to be in the next day, 9 a.m. Heck yeah. So I'm gonna be there the next day at 9 a.m. I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit. Now that I've got the offer accepted, I actually found out that I was the very first agent to call. So that's just kind of like some sidebar information. I was the first agent to call and the first agent to see the home. So that, I think, really set the foundation on how I did get this offer accepted. We just kind of kept layering these positives to the point where the seller and the listing agent felt so comfortable and confident with us that they elected to just say yes day one. So first of all, first agent to the wire. I was the first agent to the home to view the property. Backstory, I actually ran into the sellers because they listed their home quickly. Now, I did call the agent before arriving, and I did ask the magical question, what do your sellers need? Do they need a rent back? Do they need anything that I can do to help make me unique? And at that point, she actually didn't give me much. She said, no, we may need a quick close. So, okay, I kept that in mind. Now I arrived to the property and I'm actually representing military clients who live out of state. And if you know anything about this and being in the real estate market, there are a lot of agents and sellers, unfortunately, that don't necessarily like it when people don't view the home in person. They look at it as a negative. And I hate that. I really hate that. And I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a second. I have to. When we're representing military clients, you guys, sometimes they don't have the opportunity to purchase their home in person, because they're serving our country. They are in another state or another country and they just don't have the opportunity. Please, if you're a seller or an agent, stop using that against them. They're very used to their way of living. They're very used to purchasing things out of state and out of country because they've probably done it 5 other times. So let's stop using that as a negative, okay? But that was my scenario. And I knew going into it that if the sellers just see an agent come upon the property and not a buyer, that sometimes that really rocks the boat. Oh, well, they didn't see it in person, you know, this, that, the other. Within the 5-minute exchange that I got with them, again, I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't talk terms or anything like that, but I did kind of chum it up a little bit. And guess what? They were military sellers. They understood my situation. Ding, ding, ding. That kind of gives me a little bit of an opportunity, right? So we talked very briefly. They stepped out of the home. I did my video tours. Normally this is being held against me, right? I don't have buyers there viewing. They did not hold it against me. My buyers loved the property. They used all of the magical words, love, what do we need to do? They actually sent me a gift that said, take all my money, because they wanted this home. What I found out within that quick little exchange was that the sellers had actually already found a home that they loved as well. They listed their house so quickly because they had to. If they didn't have a contract quickly, they weren't going to get the home of their dreams. So time was of the essence. That's what that told me. Time is of the essence. If I can submit a solid offer with short contingencies and show them that I am there to kick ass for them so they can have a contract and go win their property, that's what I wanted to do. So I called the listing agent, and the listing agent pretty much told me the same thing. Look, you were the first agent to call. This is your lucky day. Her exact verbiage, your lucky day. You were the first agent to call. You were the first agent to view. You're the first agent to write. And honestly, time is of the essence. We need an offer because I need to go lock this house in over here. Can you do X, Y, Z on the offer? Yep. I knew that I was going to come down hard. I wrote a solid offer. Yes, it was above list like we already talked about. But I wrote super tight timelines, 7-day due diligence period. I told them I would order the appraisal on a rush, put it in writing. I contacted the lender and was like, what's the fastest closing we could do? My buyer was already DU approved, which meant they had already submitted all of their information to the lender. We were rocking and rolling. I had the lender call the agent. Like, I was just shaking and grooving, like for reals. You've got to sometimes act fast. So time is of the essence on this one. And this offer, I knew not only needed to net the sellers a lot of money, but it needed to be clean and tight in terms of timelines. As the day evolved, I started to get a couple calls. So the listing agent, well, maybe we need a little bit of a rent back. Could you do 3 weeks? You could have 3 weeks for free. I am not arguing in this case because I've got this little window of light and this door and this opportunity to lock this in for my client. And we are not going to lose it over a 3-week rent back, right? Called my clients. They said yes to that. Typing it up. I'm almost about to submit. Ding, ding, ding. Another phone call. Well, what do you think about a month on top of the 3 weeks? Just to my sellers are, I'm not going to lose this deal over a month-long rent back. Call my clients. Okay, we move that around. Long story short, we did everything that the sellers need. We acted super fast. We submitted and we got the property on a Saturday. I received a phone call today. It's Sunday. I received a phone call from the agent today. Girl, there's 7 other offers in my email, but obviously, we're sticking with you because you did everything that we needed. And guess what? I was able to win the other home for the sellers. So it all worked out. Start with a good agent, somebody that's going to hustle, somebody that's going to contact the listing agent and ask that magical question. What do the sellers need? Get an agent that's going to go out there immediately and figure out all of those things that are required in that certain case, that scenario for that seller that's going to win you the deal. And it doesn't always revolve around money. Okay, so at the end of the day, I rattled on some examples. I hope you enjoyed them. They were real life. They were things that happened to me within the past few days. So these are very real life examples of escrows that I've got open right now. 2 completely different scenarios, seller, buyer, and why or how we got our offer accepted or selected. First, get a good agent, somebody that's gonna hustle. 2, what's the magic question? What do the sellers need? Make sure that your agent is asking that question. And if the listing agent doesn't divulge too much, dig a little bit. Well, can I do this? Or can I do this? Or is this helpful? Is there anything that makes me unique? Because I would love the opportunity to help the sellers. So be sure that you're asking the magical question. You've got great representation, and I hope that you get out there and get your offer accepted. Remember, at the end of the day, if you have any questions related to real estate investing, all of the things, who's your homegirl? I'm your homegirl.